Welcome back to Pro League, guys. Here it is Tuesday, and we're starting off with a big 2-0 here for the Jin Air Green Wings over MVP. MVP departure had a bit of an easier time there against his opponent, but he still went down. And it's going to be all up to YongHwa here. In fact, going up against Rogue in this third game here to bring it back for MVP and give them a chance.
Yep. Rogue definitely favored here, I would say. Although YongHwa in recent times has been almost godlike compared to what he used to be. Like he's gone Super Saiyan. He's won a lot of PvPs. He's come out as the ace player for his team several times. And Kanad is the only one that votes for him here. But I really thought about it. I decided that I would say that Rogue probably the better overall player in a best of one in this matchup. But I really thought about putting my W on YongHwa's side, man.
Yeah, I mean he's definitely got a chance here. It's not really like our last matchup where we couldn't really sugarcoat that one. I mean, it was too one-sided. But this one is definitely could go either way. I think Rogue does have the advantage for sure. But YongHwa, he's a very, very smart player. That's the thing that really sticks out about him. To me, he definitely can come here with a very nicely planned build to take out Rogue. But Rogue, he is like the Pro League master for Jin Air right now. Him and Maru just so solid. They're part of the reason why they're doing so well. And unfortunately, Jin Air Green Wings haven't been doing super well in round 3, but the other rounds doing quite well. And Maru and Rogue here particularly trying to keep this boat afloat. Maru getting his win, and now it's Rogue's turn.
Yep. You can tell this guy he doesn't come out as the ace player very often, but a very consistent point getter for his team. In the hybrid league that we had, when he was playing under the name Savage back then, he had a lot of trouble, but that's where part of his Pro League losses go. Like his record is actually negative at 33-34, but those losses are from a long time ago. He's been pretty good these last 2 years. YongHwa, on the other hand, made his debut last year. He's 11-16. Most of his wins coming from this season, 8-6. 1-0 versus Zerg, but that's not a lot to go on here. And as we saw earlier, he was like 1-2 versus Rogue.
Yeah, his big matchup is versus Protoss, as you were saying. He does go out here on Vaani Research Station, which is kind of an interesting map.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like any race can kind of come out on this one. Terran pretty cool for that backdoor, going for big drops and stuff, but seems like these days PvZ is not too unexpected, and that's what we get here.
I was expecting to see him come out on Deadwing instead, but he picks Vaani. And here we go, Rogue, the big favorite here. Let's go into this map to see if Jin Air can close it out 3-0 or if YongHwa's going to bring it back.
Up here in the top of Vaani Research Station in the green, our Zerg player, it is Rogue.
All right, and his opponent to the bottom in teal is YongHwa for MVP. Valdez and I have this very terrifying bug coming towards us, man.
This is actually really scary.
It's really close to me right now, man.
It's like the biggest cockroach I've ever seen.
I think it's actually a wasp.
Really?
Yeah, it looks like a wasp, man. It looks pretty dangerous.
We're going to have to get someone over here to exterminate this guy. I don't know if I can focus right now. Rogue getting the favor here in the fan votes. But it's the closest vote we've had so far.
True. And I think this is definitely the closest matchup of the day. For some reason, when I was looking at that first, I thought it said 50 and 41. I was like, well, that just simply doesn't add up to 100.
And 9 people couldn't make up their mind. Or 9% of people.
Well, there's not actually a lot of bugs in Seoul in general.
Yeah, not really. But occasionally you do get some pretty scary ones. I had a gigantic caterpillar when I used to live in the basement.
Oh, man, that sounds pretty bad.
Yeah.
So
those things are fast. They skirt around your floor.
Yeah.
It's extremely scary.
But it wasn't a centipede? Because those are the scarier ones.
Yeah.
It was a centipede?
Yeah, I guess it was. The guys with a bunch of legs. They just go really fast.
You ever poke a caterpillar on the head and it sticks those horns out?
No, I've never done that before, Wolf.
When I was a kid, I poked a caterpillar, man, and it stuck.
Were you one of those kids that used to play with? Hold that thought. Speaking of playing with bugs, Rogue going for the proxy hatch.
He's going to pull some probes here. He's actually going to try to self-contain this without getting the forge up too early here.
He's going to go for the forge, but he is going to commit a lot of probes to taking down this hatch. Really nice read from Rogue going for that backdoor hatch just because he knew that YongHwa was going for that Nexus first.
Look at this.
Love the scouting from Rogue.
And look at this this read from YongHwa, knowing that the follow-up is absolutely going to be a gold base, and he's here to block it. That's pretty annoying. And actually, he's just going to let him have it. Fool goes down first. He should block this, though. Oh!
Well, I think he's just going to set up some cannons if Rogue wants to go for this. But he does have that Fool on the way, so it looks like Rogue's going to delay for a little bit here.
This hatch needs to cancel it, by the way. Okay.
Oh, very, very nice there by Rogue. And I make an evolution chamber after just to buy a little bit more time.
Well, this is playing with bugs if I've ever seen it, Valdez. There goes the second hatch.
Ooh. And Rogue kind of forced to go for that safer outside base. Not going to go for the backdoor base just yet.
Yeah, definitely the way you want to do it if you are going to not take the gold base first, because you get the third base for free basically once you hold on to that natural. You need to get your creep spread out there anyways to send reinforcements. Oh what?
Man. I'm not sure if YongHwa's going to see this. It's outside of his vision. Rogue has done this before against Classic. Classic went for the cannon rush. I think it was on Deadwing?
This was in the semis of last season's Pro League.
I think it was, yeah.
It? Yeah. I remember this.
Rogue won that game.
I wasn't commentating, but I was watching.
Yeah. Pretty insane game.
This is actually pretty risky. I'm a bit surprised he's actually going to commit to this.
Well, YongHwa's not going to scout it. He's never going to expect it. The only thing that he didn't see was the drone coming out, so I guess he will expect it in fact.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Like, that's why I'm surprised he does this, right? He's really panicking about this, sending a ton of probes out. I don't even think he necessarily has to do this. He could just simply make a cannon close to it. The problem is he doesn't have gateways up yet. He doesn't have any zealots out, so if this did finish and you'd start coming out, he'd have a bigger problem on his hands. But he's going to lose a lot of mining for this, and I feel like Rogue definitely gets ahead just with a simple cancel here. I don't think he's going to Evo block here because there's just nothing to block. He's just simply going to try to escape with the drone. And we'll see if he can get away with it. Oh, he just lets it finish. He's going to use the tumors, or rather the broodlings, to maybe try to kill some probes here. That's a huge investment, but let's see how many he gets. Oh, he didn't actually micro them at all at first.
Oh, he's going to get one.
Maybe two? No.
We got two Lings coming out as well, but there's already a Zealot. I feel like this is just Rogue trying to get into the head of YongHwa. Like, this is not going to do that much damage at all, really. I mean, it's two Lings. Exactly. This is just to try to throw YongHwa off his game, I feel. Whereas Rogue back at home, he's got 3 bases up very, very comfortably. He's got a gold base at the same time. YongHwa just got his first Zealot and that backdoor Nexus, like, very, very recently. So Rogue definitely pulling ahead in this one.
Yeah, and, you know, we've got no sort of tech. He just finished his core. The Mothership core is like the techiest thing he has, man. It's like living in 1995. He's like, no, I heard that in the future there's going to be flip phones and you can talk to people from your car.
Oh, man.
That's as far technologically advanced he is, man, with this Mothership core. He's got no Stargate tech, and with these Lings in here, he can't hide anything. Yeah. This gets scouted now. The Stargate, that's very late.
Those Lings were actually so smart from Rogue. He got so much scouting information. He ran those units around the base of YongHwa. But most importantly, of course, he does see that Stargate, and he should be very well prepared. He could just put down some spores at each base, get some queens. The one thing he doesn't want to do is pull up the all and lose a bunch of drones to 2 oracles. It looks like YongHwa's going to go for a bit of an all-in here, in fact.
Yep, I think he's just going to go oracle into like 6 gates. It looks like he might even go 7. Yeah, 7 is usually the number we see with the oracle push. You only make 1 oracle. You try to disrupt the economy, force them to drone to respond to the drones they lost. You know, and you even lose drones when you make these spores and spines that we're seeing right now. While he's droning up, responding to that, loses his larva doing that, and then the attack hits, surprises you, and kills you. The Oracle obviously great against Speedlings if you don't have any roaches on the ground as well.
I think, in fact, Rogue may expect this. He saw no 4th gas at the backdoor base of YongHwa. Usually as a Protoss, you want to get those gases up as soon as possible, especially if you're going to take that 3rd base. You want to tech up pretty fast here. But I have a sneaky suspicion that Rogue has a decent idea, although he does make 8 more drones. He's making a bunch of units, but he should know exactly what's coming down. That is a ton of Organs.
Yep, and he can't fight this. These are about to have +1 as well, which is going to crush the Lynx in a straight-up fight. He actually isn't making roaches. I think it's a gas issue. He does have 6 out right now. He's not making any more, so he's, I guess, waiting until he has more gas. I want to try to overwhelm these units with Lings with a few roaches to support. This one Oracle is here just to protect this pylon. He's got another one coming up here, but it's absolutely not going to finish. In fact, doesn't even get canceled. Here comes another big warp into Stalkers from that southern location. And he's moving into this position, but I feel like Rogue already has enough to hold this. He's got 2 spines.
It's going to be scary. It's going to be very scary for sure. There's no sentries with this. It's just straight up Zealot Stalker with +1. And Rogue does not have that upgrade. He's just got a bunch of units. And we're going to see these Lings try to go for the pylon snipe and maybe just try to delay, in fact.
Oh, you need to turn those around. They don't have speed for 3 more seconds. That's actually pretty big that this that he's losing this large force of them. More do come to join. He does commit to 2 Oracles, which is actually going to be very helpful in this fight, considering how much Rogue actually committed to these Lings.
It's going to be questionable if the amount of time that those Lings bought is worth it for the amount that he lost in those Lings. But let's see if Rogue can actually hold this off. Roach speed as well, going to finish up here in a bit. There it goes. It does complete now. Ton of Stalkers in this mix, and 2 awesome Time Warps come down, but Rogue is just going to back off and not fight that for now.
Yep, Oracle's doing their work here. Even another Queen coming from the north. Lings with speed, Roaches with speed. A good control here, and where's the Mothership Core? Nowhere to be found. It was taken out earlier by Focus Fire, and that should be enough to end this game. And Rogue just making it look easy. That attack was just too slow. It took him too long to get set up with his pylons. There was Spine Crawlers Ray. There was way too many Lings he was able to produce. He had a feeling, I think you're exactly right, he saw there were no gases at the natural, got suspicious, and set up a hardcore defense.
YongHwa's actually going to try to transition from here.
To DTs, I guess, right? Like, what else is he planning to do with a Blink and +2 with no economy and no units?
Well, take a look at the supplies right now. It's 133 to 61. We have Rogue on 3 bases with the gold base. It looks like he's about to take his 4th base. So YongHwa's still on 2 bases, whereas Rogue's about to have 4 plus one of those being the gold base. I think YongHwa's just trying to stick this one through to possibly get that really wonky win. Maybe DTs, like you were saying.
Well, let's see. He's got the money. Goes Blink. Wow, that's just simply never going to work.
Well, if he has the most godlike Blink micro in the world and Rogue makes a bunch of mistakes, it's possible, I suppose. But he is so far behind right now, and Rogue's doing everything in his power to not lose this game. He's going to get burrow and burn movement here. No sign of a Robo on the way here for YongHwa for a while.
This is disastrous, man. This Overseer is laughing as he comes in here seeing what he's trying to do.
He's not laughing anymore, man. He's dead now.
Not anymore, but he did his job, all right? And
he did his laugh. So he got a full 2 chuckles off before he went down.
Full 2 chuckles. as he exploded and those eyes closed forever, he scoffed.
Yeah. 2 chuckles and a scoff.
Look at this tiny Protoss army. It will have +2. It will have Blink. But it can't even leave the base right now.
Rogue just did way too much damage very early on in this game. Too much like stuff going on in YongHwa's base early on in the game. Forced to forge out. The Nexus was amazingly late. The follow-up was super late. Rogue was able to sneak out 8 drones. His economy was fantastic. And he just had enough larva. He even was making a macro hat at the same time to get out enough stuff to hold off that push. He just did everything right. And that push was never going to work.
Even eliminated now some of the gateways to make this reinforcement a lot harder. Cannons get canceled here, which means he's never going to be able to take this 3rd base because the Ling's in the way. Burrow movement allows these Roaches to get right on top of the Stalkers, do their maximum damage. And even now, getting into the main base and taking that cannon out, he can almost flank the Stalkers from that high ground. Just going to kill probes instead. He can do whatever he wants. This game is over, Valdez. And so are MVP's chances in this match. GG.
There you have it. 3 quick wins from Jin Air tonight to make it a 3-0 win. Pure does not get to play his game against YongHwa. And that's going to do it. Jin Air, they keep themselves in the playoff running. Yep. There with that win. They're going to be up at 3-3 with a +1 indicator. And they will grab, looks like, 4th place for now.
My MVP today is definitely Rogue. Definitely playing the most creative game and the toughest game, making the best decisions. The other two games, pretty one-sided. This one, not so much, but YongHwa's attack was just way too late to do anything. And I think he was thinking about the game as if he hadn't been delayed early on, and that the timings were more like towards what they would normally be when someone rushes the gold base out like that. Also expecting his opponent to be quite delayed for all the commitments to those double hatches.
Yeah. YongHwa was in a bad spot, and his two choices were like all in or try to transition into a third base, but Rogue was so far ahead he could have punished that even. So there you go, 3-0 for the generic Green Wings over MVP. Trap defeats Departure there in Expedition Lost. Maru takes down Marine King on Cactus Valley, and then Rogue takes out YongHwa in that game we just had on Vaani Research Station. No Cure versus Gumiho.
A bit sad about that.
I'm very sad about that. That was the most debated one, actually. Predictions going both ways for that one. I think it was either 4-2 in favor of Gumiho or 3-3.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those matchups that you're really just not sure, and it's Gumiho's a player that everyone loves to see. Really sad. It's a dead wing as well, so it could have been an epic mech TVT.
Yeah. Kind of sad that YongHwa didn't really get to show us his later game PvZ either. Rogue just way too strong in that early game with messing with the Protosses. Kind of reminds me of Life in a way. Especially with his hatchery harass. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. Reminds me of Leenock as well. Leenock loves to do stuff like this. Rogue is the king of this, I feel like, in Pro League matches. He's done it with the most success. And that's just all there is to it. A 3-0 victory today. Jenner making it look easy to get the best possible indicator, which is going to be very important going to these matches. Like I said, there's possibly going to be ties. We don't know yet. So every single point counts. Every little indicator point you can get on the board.
Yeah, it really does.